Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Africans FC. Hope you're enjoying your day today. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to give us a subscribe, maybe a like. We do primarily Canadian soccer football content, national teams, dive into a bit of the clubs. Right now, we're going to focus on national teams, also focus on African teams, because again, we wouldn't be the Africans if we didn't do that. And then a little bit of club football as well. Today, we want to talk a little bit about the end of the celebration tour and what's coming next for the national team program. So, if you weren't paying attention or you just passed over, the celebration tour, it seems, based off all indications from Canada Soccer, it has ended. Ended with a 2-2 draw in Victoria against Nigeria. They had two games against Nigeria. The first one in Vancouver, winning 2-0. And then Victoria, a 2-2 draw for the team. I really want to do a breakdown of this, but to be honest, I need another set of eyes on this. I don't want to do it just myself, so I'm going to put a pause on that and see what we can do. But honestly, great showing from the team. The players really were able to play well. The second game was a little bit more challenging, but I think if getting a challenging competition, challenging opponent like Nigeria, who can defend well, can offer that athleticism on the counter, we're able to, get a few goals, give them, some nice adversity to play with. We haven't seen that since their two games against Mexico. So all in all, I think a good showing for the national team, and we're looking forward to see what's coming next for them. Now, while that was happening, we seem to have forgotten and just kind of passed over really quickly. The qualifiers for the CONCACAF W Championships were taking place, and we have our final six. Our final six have been selected. We're going to go over them really quickly and then go over some of the rules for what this means for qualification, how it qualifies teams for both the World Cup in 2023 and the Paris Olympics in 2024. So let's get to that and start with this. All right, so if you weren't following, we're going to get to what the results were. So I'm going to go throw that bad boy up here. And so we have in Group A, Mexico, who's going to be coming through. They were able to finish their qualification with 4 wins, outscoring their opponents 34-0. That is good, but I want to give a special shout out to Puerto Rico, who really did play well, but I think that first loss against their first loss in their first game really put them against the wall and having to beat Mexico, which they weren't able to do. Second game, we have Costa Rica again winning Group B. Costa Rica again, 4 straight wins, going at the 22-0 on goal difference. We're able to give St. Kitts that loss, and also just didn't work out for the other teams coming through. Guatemala had a chance, but faded near the end. But a nice showing from St. Kitts. I think their program is definitely coming up with some of the duels that they have coming. And other players coming through. Group C. This one looked like an interesting group, but Jamaica was able to finish it off, winning by a goal difference of 24-2, so a few good goals conceded. Dominican Republic able to get some goals, but weren't able to beat Jamaica in their final matchup, thus sending Jamaica. Panama in Group D, 24-0. You're seeing a theme here. Beating everyone, but then getting past El Salvador at the end, beating them, I think it looked like a 3-0, but maybe even more. And then in Group E and F, Group E, Haiti, just their team, they had fun with their team. 44-0 goal difference. Haiti putting up the numbers. Duvernay, a good player to watch. And watch some of their games, they're really fun. It was interesting kind of weaving through that in a celebration tour. But yes, Cuba's draw kind of put them behind the ball, and then a loss at the end to Haiti. Haiti was in control of their destiny. And Trinidad and Tobago getting there with 10 points, 19 goals for, 3 goals against, finishing their last game against Guyana, drawing that 2-2 in a winner-takes-all type of a matchup. So really exciting to see what that breaks up. But yeah, so those are your final 6 teams. Your final 6 teams joining the Canada and the United States are Mexico, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Panama, Trinidad and Tobago, and Haiti, making 8. So here are the important dates you need to know. On April the 19th, the draw is going to take place for these 2 groups. Now, right now, the U.S. is in Group A, and Canada is in Group B. The tournament is taking place from July 4th to the 18th, I believe. July 4th to the 18th, happening in Mexico. So the tournament is in Mexico, but Canada will be in Group B. to start off, and the U.S. will be in Group A. Now, the other teams have been slotted into groups based off of their rankings, so they're in different pots in that way. So what you're going to see then is, where I think I gave them to you in order, but we'll give you everyone that's here. So in pot 2, tentatively, we have Mexico and Costa Rica. Pot 3, Jamaica and Panama. Pot 4, Haiti and Trinidad and Tobago. They're all going to be drawn into 4 groups. Now we're going to pull up the rules here just so you guys can kind of follow along and see what's happening there. Alrighty, so the most important thing to note is they're going to play in a round-robin tournament, and in their groups. And so 3 games each. The top 2 teams of each group will move on to the semis, but then those 4 teams will be qualified automatically for the World Cup. So that's important to note. So top 2 in your group puts you in Australia and New Zealand in 2023. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Now, the third place teams, I'm not going to go through the third place in the playoffs because I've actually read 2 different stories on what happens in the playoff. I'm going to save that for another video. But for the time being, I will just say that the third place teams are eligible for the World Cup. I've read 2 different things. I just want to read up, ask some people some questions to see if you can figure that out for sure. Now, what happens then? So the top 4 automatically make it in. So if you're Canada, top of the group gets you to Australia and New Zealand. Second place gets you there as well. But, we're Canada. We want to go for first place. Then you have first versus second. Group A, 1 plays Group B, 2. And those 2, the winners of that, go on to the finals, and the losers play in the third place. So we've talked about the World Cup qualifiers. Now, this is where the Olympics play in. And I think Oliver Platt did a good job of explaining it, but he didn't go into those details. So I'm just going to go a little bit further than what Oliver Platt did. Oliver Platt from One Soccer. They did it in the preview of the Nigeria-Canada match, the second one, so the one on the 11th. So the first place teams play. The winners of the semis play. The winner automatically qualifies for 2024 Olympics in Paris. That's very important. The second place team, or the team that finishes in second, plays the third place winner. So if you lose the semis, you still have the Olympics to play for. Now what happens then is the play-in series, which is the second place teams. The second place and the third place team play in a home and away aggregate game. So think Champions League, 1-note list. So for example, say Canada, for example, goes to the finals and loses to the States. We don't want that to happen, but let's say it happens. Then whoever wins the third place team, say it's Haiti, they'll play Haiti home and away, and the winner on aggregate will go then and qualify for the Paris Olympics. So that is what is at stake. Not only do we have the World Cup at stake here, we also have the Olympics that are at stake. Guys, how do you feel about that? Do you feel confident in Canada's chances? If you've watched the qualifiers so far, which other countries have caught your eye? Which other countries are you rooting for? If you aren't Canadian, or maybe you have a little bit of international blood with you going on. Maybe your parents are Jamaican, maybe you're from Haiti, you grew up in Mexico, what have you. Let me know in the comments down below. But again, as we go, the draw for the W CONCACAF Championships is happening on the 19th of April. So that's when we're going to know when all the teams are playing. And what groups they're in. The championship takes place from July 4th to the 18th. In that, it's happening in Mexico, round robin in the tournament, in the groups. The top 2 of each group automatically qualify for the World Cup in Australia. And then the third place team we'll say they're eligible until we'll do a separate video on that as well. And then semifinals, A1, and then B2, etc. play. The finalists are playing for automatic berth in the Olympics. Whoever loses that game plays the winner of the third place game in a home and away aggregate game. Those fixtures will be set by CONCACAF, and then the winner of that will be going to the Olympics. So lots at stake. Guys, let me know who you're rooting for, what you're interested in as well. Be on the lookout for our follow-up for how the Intercontinental Playoff will play. The World Cup in 2023 is actually going to be the first Women's World Cup where it is going to be 32 teams, which means, very important, we won't have a chance. If you don't finish top 2 in your group, you won't make it out to the round of 16. There won't be third places finishes based off points. It's 32 teams, meaning if you aren't top 2, you aren't going through. So guys, let me know how you feel for CONCACAF. Which teams are you rooting for? Who you think is going to represent at the World Cup? Who do you think makes it to the Olympics? Let us know in the comments down below. Again, give us a like, subscribe, and be on the lookout for more content for national teams, both men and women's. This is Kwesi from The African saying goodbye for now.